Good morning, friends. It's Julie, and today we're doing our What Sold video, and we're going to do 3 of them this month from the 10th, 1st to the 10th, 11th through the 20th, and 21st through the end of the month. And as you can see, it's a good thing we did because all of these tabs mean that's a postcard. We sold a lot. Okay, so let's just get into it. This is a view from Cones Point, St. Catherine Wells in Vermont. It's just I believe this is a white border. It was postmarked in 1930-something to Mrs. Margaret Flint in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, $8.97. Here is branding tabs in the open range chassis Morris postcard. And last time I think I mentioned that somebody tried to lowball me to get all of them for half price. And they've been selling, so I'm really glad we didn't make a deal. But people keep lowballing me on these, so I finally just took off the make an offer. So what they can do is they can do the add to favorites, and then I will send them an offer, and then we can negotiate. But otherwise, I'm tired of people saying, you want $2 for your postcard? Anyways, water wheel at Blue Hole, and brunette women in heels, because that's what she's wearing. I mean, would you wear heels like that to a water wheel? Maybe, I don't know. So unposted, $3.97. Purchase of Manhattan from the Indians, and this is a painting of a sad, in my opinion, sad thing where they were selling their place for trinkets. So this was postmarked in 1909 to Mrs. Somebody in Lebanon, Pennsylvania, in 747. Language of flowers, the snowdrop, and the snowdrops spell the word hope, which is the language of the flower. I've got a lot of these, and they're just, divided backs, and they're just very common. $2.97. I was surprised it actually sold. We have Mount McDonald, Rogers Pass in British Columbia, and people like mountains and glaciers and all that fun stuff. There's a little railroad track down there. If I was smart, I would have said that. Let's see if I was smart. Nope, not this time. $4.47. Elliott's Home Furnishing Mart, Billings, Montana. Thank you, postcard. And okay, so this is the back, the front, where it's supposed to have the pretty picture, but instead it says thank you. And this was from the Sadie Schwartz collection. We know that's Arthur G. Harris, the one that won her heart. $7.47 because that place is no longer there, so somebody bought their nostalgia. Memorial Gardens, Arlington, Virginia, rotograph. Now, this is a very common thing on postcards, this view, but because it's a rotograph, I think that's why it sold. That's just my opinion, but it seems like the rotographs sell faster than non. $4.97. Canoe Marsh, Martin's Camp, Big Moose Lake. And there you go, people canoe, and she looks awfully dressed up. I hope the canoe didn't tip on her. And this went to Mrs. Pritchard in Brooklyn, New York for $7.37 with best offer. Here is the Winter family. I had a whole bunch of these real photo postcards of this family. I didn't know what to call them. I put something in here. A bunch of these photos from a farming family, which I'm calling the Winter family since they have winter coats on. They basically did in most of the pictures, except, of course, this one. And that is the zoom in that I did. And here it is. This is kind of, I hope someday they get back to their family, but you can't control that. Llewellyn, Iowa to Ethel Reed. And there is the whole picture, so you can see their farm. It's a really nice photo of that. It would be nice to see what that looks like today if we could ever find that. Okay, so I'm going to just pause here in a second while you look at this picture and say that one of the things that I would love to see is these things going back to the original family. But oftentimes the photos and ephemera were separated from the family for many different reasons, and I'm actually going to do a video coming up about that. But another way to keep these things from not going in the trash is to put it into collectors' hands, which maybe someday when the collector passes them on, or they pass on, it might have another chance of going to another family member who is interested. So that's my theory. Otherwise, they go in the trash, and it's never going to get to a family. Okay, so we have the real watermelon Weeky Watchy mermaid, and these do sell. This is their close-up, and here is a vertical card. It's posted in 1970 to Mrs. Marjorie somebody or another in New York, $4.47. We have another chassis Morris, beef herd watering on the lake, and this one I think is a little older. It was posted in Molt, Montana, which is really north up on the High Line. And a lot of people think, when I say I'm from Molt, they think it's Malta, but whatever. $5.47. And you can find that out because my address is below. Okay, Christmas greetings, winter night. This is poinsettia, gold gel embossed, and this is just a beautiful postcard. And almost all of my poinsettia postcards for Christmas have sold. And okay, here's something to note. It is in the beginning of January. Christmas is over. Christmas postcards are still selling. 847. United States Custom House, San Francisco, California. And that's just what it is. It's one of those things. And you can see they have album marks on the corners. Unposted. And 447. Lake Elmore aerial view. And it is what it's advertised as. Elmore. Because it's just like Elmo in Billings. Okay, I took an offer for $3. If somebody makes a reasonable offer, I'm not really going to refuse them. Lincoln Highway on the Allegheny Mountains, and that's a zoom in. There's an old car. There is the whole picture, the white border. This just looks like a fun road to drive. Postmarked in 1921 to Miss Marie Myers of Akron, Ohio for $8.47 it went out. We have Alaska State bird, the ptarmigan. How do you pronounce that? Ken Haig. I've got a whole bunch of Ken Haig ones, and I zoomed in on the bird. This is the big picture, and that is the back. They're unposted, and $4.47. They really don't go for a lot. I probably overpriced some of them, but someday I can take the price down, you know. Main Street in East Port Washington, Long Island. It's kind of a nice street scene with the old cars unposted. $3.97, and I have like a ton of more of those, so hopefully more people want that view. This is the camels en route to the fields of Egypt. This is a panel postcard, so it's long, and here it is. Or sometimes they look like bookmark postcards. $4.47. That's another one where I thought, will anyone ever want this one? But here you. Tropics Motor Hotel in Seattle, Tiki Lounge. Who knows what sold this one? I mean, you've got the interior, you've got the pool, you've got the tiki. It's like the trifecta. All you need is a TV on, right? Popeye. Okay, $4.47 is the selling price. In the paddock, the horse racing, Victorian ladies, because they have that costume on. And here's the back. You can see it's nicely embossed. And there is the whole picture. Went for $4. A real photo postcard of Boiler Bay. You know, I didn't sell as many real photo postcards this batch. Oregon Coast, but then again, I didn't list a lot. But I have a whole bunch of real photos of Oregon, and that one sold first. Greetings from Missoula, Montana. Big large letter. Julie, okay, whatever. It should have said large letter, because it's alliterative. Large letter. It's a linen postcard. Here's is unposted. It didn't matter if I said big or large, because it's still sold. Greetings from Montgomery, Alabama, a painter palette, and it's a little bit more creative, you know, greetings from. It's a chrome, and Dexter Press, $4.47. The West Shore House in Huntington, New York, and it looks like an illustrated card. It looks like a linen, and there's the back. It's a little bit in rush shape. That's why it was only $4.97. I really didn't know how to price it, so I put it up in auction, and somebody bid on it, and it's gone. That's another thing about auctions, is it can get postcards moving fast. Here's Cemetery Macomb. I don't think this is a rare view either. Yeah, it's a lithochrome, postmarked in 19 what? I can't tell. To somebody Gross in Bellevue, Ohio, $4.97. 1907 was the year. Gateway to Soldiers Home, Marion, Indiana, and this was also in rough shape. But here, I mean, you take this picture and there's a little kid out there. That's kind of funny. 1911 to Mrs. Sarah Long in Nevada, Missouri, $3. Westside Lake Winola, Pennsylvania, postcard. There's a whole bunch of Lake Winola, and it seems that they sell pretty well. It has these curvy things on here. I don't know if they were supposed to be cut or not, but whatever. It was sent in 1911 to Mrs. Sarah something in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania for $4.97. Union Station Terminals, train tracks, Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah, you always want to put trains in there because of the train people. This is 1920 something to somebody in Appleton, Wisconsin. It's $3.97. U.S. Naval War College, Coasters Harbor Island, and this is what it is. It's just a view. I don't think that was too uncommon. Undivided back, Jamestown, 1904, to Mrs. Elizabeth Champlin in Kingston, Rhode Island, $8.97. Shipping was $1.53, so that must have gone international. Lighthouse Cairn at Le Havre, near Bridgewater. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. And that is the full image of the postcard, and Lexington, Mass. Is where it came from. $4.47. We have the downtown Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. And yep, Canada does sell. I mean, as long as you don't put a ridiculous amount of postage on it. Because, well, I guess living in Montana, the border is so close that I think it doesn't take as long to get some of the postcards out there. So that also went, I think, to Canada for $3.97 plus $1.53 shipping. So Cotton Bowl Stadium, Dallas, Texas, aerial view. And this is another not very rare view, but okay, I don't know if you need a zoom in, but it's $4.47, so I'm glad it sold. You can tell that's an older, was listed back in the summer. Milk River Valley in Montana, and here's people love Montana. And this is my image here for YouTube that I kind of have my banner for because I'm lazy and I haven't made one yet. So I went to Mrs. Parmalee from someplace in Massachusetts, and so I might have to do a different photo now. So anyways, $3.47. Here we have Lake Manchester, Tennessee in Postcard, an old lithograph. Postmarked sometime in January. Went to Appleton, Wisconsin again. $4.97. La Savoie Havre, I'd say Havre, cruise ship with a pretty woman and girls waving, and that's what you got. It's an illustrated card. And Dear Mother went to Nebraska, from Nebraska in 1909 to Martha Christ, or is it Christ, and she lived in North Platte. $4.47. Here is the only item that is not a postcard in this batch. I sold another one of these lots of random lots of 3 presidential gold colored. They're not real gold. And I think I do outline that below. I say 1 grab bag. These are golden color, but do not contain gold. So, yeah, just so you know, I did do my due diligence on that. Okay, here we got Soldier. Here's hoping you'll be hauling success. So these are those old comic postcards unposted for $4.47. And Black Cat, there are people who collect Black Cat stuff. There you go. All right, this one, I don't really need to say a lot about it, except it sold for $412. It did arrive yesterday to the place, so there's 30 days for return window. And one of the cool things is that one of my cousins lives in the area, and she said, I just went boating there last weekend. She said there's lots of rich people out there, and she said there's celebrities that live there, so their Lake Toxaway is a bolo. I've heard that so many stories from it now since I have posted that video. So this is probably a sale of a lifetime. I don't know if I'll ever see another single postcard go for this much, but hey, it'd be nice, but it's just amazing. Just a blessing. St. Lawrence Seaway, Canada river map. So it's a kind of modern, with the Seaway map and unposted, $4.47. Okay, this one, and I think it goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 6 postcards went to the same person, and there's 2 themes that they had. So they had the National Monument, then we have the White House, we have Smithsonian, then we got Letterbuck, which he's got a couple of cowboy postcards in here, and the United States Capitol again, and another bucking horse. So I thought it was kind of funny. I did take some offers for a couple of them because he was doing the big lot. And, I hesitate on posting these because there are so many of these out there. But, I go back and forth on that because I said I don't want to really do state capitals anymore, but they slowly sell for cheap. So I don't know. I might have to review that. Because another thing is if they're in decent shape. why not? If they're not in good shape, that's another story. But these were all in excellent condition, as you can see here. I think these were mostly unposted, except for the bucking horses. And if you don't list them, and the people want to buy from you, then they won't be able to buy from you. So that's another way of thinking about it. I'm still newish to this, so I don't know. Anyway, so that went out in a nice little package. We have Riverside, California, Adams Street. Now, it's Tree Line Drive, Adams Street. It doesn't really look like anything special, but it was special to somebody because it went for $447. Now, this is great. The swimming hole, there's a lot of swimming holes, or there's a lot of this view, but not one that had quite this inset, so I put it up for auction. It also is not in great shape, so I was like, how do you price it? So 2 people were bidding on it, and it's out the door at $550. Bear River Canyon in Utah, and a nice old postcard. I believe it's a white border, $350. And the last one is the Miami Seaquarium in Florida, and this one gave me a little heart attack because I couldn't find this where it was in my SKU numbers, and I think it was something like 305, and I found it in the 405, right, the 405. So yeah, so anyways, this was postmarked in 1967, had an interesting postmark on it, or a cancellation, something. And Mrs. Leonard Simonson in Brewster, New York. And there you have it. So, there were a lot of postcards that sold. If I remember, I will put up above how many sold. And here is the state of my store. So, I have to add another featured item, but okay, so I had a lot of postcards sell, and here we are in the beginning of January, where a lot of people say sales are slow because people just spent all their money on Christmas. Well, okay, maybe, but for people that are collectors, they're going to buy when they want to buy, even if it is a day after Christmas. And that's just the way it's going to, that's the nice thing about doing collectibles like this. And, you could do all kinds of collectibles. Instead of doing, like, selling shoes or selling toys, those are good things to sell because you can flip them faster than I can flip them. But you have a higher return rate, and they're bigger to ship. And they are more seasonal, I think. But I could be wrong because I don't really sell that stuff. I have dabbled very little in that, and most of that's been through Poshmark, which makes shipping very easy, but but very high. Oh, here's another winter family. See, I told you that they wore coats. So, yeah, I'll just show you these guys. Do you recognize them? I would love to, if somebody had found out who these guys are, I would gladly take these down and send them to the family. And I also am working on my family's genealogy. Ironically, it's my adopted family, so that story might pop up here too on my channel too. And now I'm just chattering away, so I'm going to say that coming up next, I'm going to have a continuation of the Florida postcards, and I'm going to show you how to scan them, so that will be coming. And I'll also have another planner video on how my Silk and Saunders going because of all these chronic illnesses. So stay tuned for those, and I hope you have a joyful day. Goodbye.